Hey there. So in the WebRTC solutions, you know that for the signaling phase we use SIP, and that is a widely used protocol. But most of the time you will see that you know from a browser we can't make a SIP request directly, right? So for that purpose, most of the time you'll have a server where you'll send a HTTP request from the browser. Then that HTTP request will be converted into a SIP request from that server to an actual SIP registrar server or any other SIP servers. For example, the proxy or the redirect server or any other SIP servers. Okay, so which understands just the SIP protocols. Okay, so for that purpose, we use one server. From there, we communicate via the SIP, and finally, whatever the response comes, that response is sent either through the HTTP or through the WebSocket to the browser, right? But this RFC explains, like, from the browser itself you can send a SIP request to the SIP server. So using this RFC, and this RFC explains, like, for the SIP requests, the transport mechanism that it uses is the WebSocket. Okay, so using the WebSocket sub protocol, you can still send a SIP request directly from the browser, and I can show you an example for that. There is a library SIP.js. Okay, and here is the demo page. Also, they have built a demo page, and you can see that here there is a user Alice and another user is Bob. Okay, so these users can communicate with each other using the WebRTC, and for the signaling they'll be using SIP directly from the browser. An example I can show you. For example, here you can see this. I have selected the socket. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so here you can see that we have socket, and here you can see the register request, and the response. Okay, and this request was sent from the Alice, and this connection is for the Bob. Okay, so let me just refresh and I can show you. Let me clear it and refresh it, and so you can see that as soon as the browser refreshes, for these two users a request is sent. Okay, for register request, SIP request. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, I've refreshed it, so you can see the socket connection is being made. Okay, so if I open it, message, you can see the first request was sent as register request. Okay, and you get a response. Similarly, for this user, here you can see that it was done for the Alice, right? The user Alice, the register request, and we got the 200 okay response. Similarly, for the Bob, also you can see that Bob is registered successfully because we got 200 response from the SIP server, right? Now if the Alice wants to communicate with Bob, let me open this one, so that here we can see all the SIP request going. Okay, so now if Alice wants to communicate with the Bob, it is going to send a SIP request, SIP invite request, along with the SDP information. For that, you can simply click on this video, and I have given the permission. So here you can see that it sent an invite request. Okay, I've switched off my camera, so that's why you're not able to see anything here. But I just wanted to show you all these requests. Okay, so you can see that the invite request was sent to Bob along with this SDP information, right? You can see this. We make it big. So here you can see that invite request was sent, and this is the SDP information, right? So here you can see the C line, and along with that ICE information. All those candidates are also, see, ICE candidates are also sent along with the invite itself. Okay, the whole SDP is sent at once. Here you can see the ICE candidates for different type of media. Here this is for the video, and here you can see it is for the audio. Okay, and here you can see the responses coming from the SIP server, like 100 giving it a try, and 180 which is ringing, and then finally you get 200 okay, which you actually receives from the other end, from the Bob. Okay, so here you can see that the response is coming from the Bob, right? And you can see all those SIP headers, like record route that it follows. Okay, so all those information you can see. Okay, and similarly, see, here we are sending the invite request. Okay, so from the Bob side, you'll be seeing that request coming in, right? So let me open it. See, here you can see that invite is coming, and that invite is coming from, see here you can see that it is coming from the Alice, okay, along with all the record routes, okay, so that when it sends the response, this whole thing will be followed in the reverse order, right? So whatever is the record routes record added, it will follow like this. It will go first here, then here, then here, like that, okay. And via adder is also added here. So here you can see the invite came with this HDP information, and in the response here you can see it is sending 100 trying, and then 180 ringing, and finally in the 200 we'll be seeing the SDP information. So here in the ringing you won't see the SDP information. So this is here SDP information, right? This is the answer to the offer of WebRTC. Okay, so in the response you're seeing, okay, and for that response it will finally receive an acknowledgement, okay, from Alice, right? So that way you can directly communicate using SIP and WebRTC directly from your browser. You'll have to have a SIP server, for example free switch, or Camellia you can also use. There you'll have to configure the RTP engine, but yeah, the easiest way will be to use the free switch or something similar, where it directly supports the media also. Okay, so that using that you can build your WebRTC and solutions along with the SIP. You can build a small project, but yeah, for scaling there are too many things that gets involved, so I'm not covering that. The purpose of this video was to introduce this SIP directly from the browser, okay, via the WebSocket sub protocol.